What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, live from Vegas. We're going to be getting into the primetime matchup with Oregon and the Ohio State Buckeyes. So this will be a good one. My favorite game of the weekend, not necessarily from a betting perspective, but for those of you that don't know me, I am from Ohio. Full disclosure, this is not an emotional pick because if you wanted an emotional pick, I don't like the Ohio State Buckeyes. Like the players, like all that stuff, and it's just kind of the fans for me. So we'll get into kind of the picks for this game. If you haven't done so, though, make sure you guys all like, comment, and subscribe down below. Smash that like button, and as always, leave your comments, leave your picks, what you'll be on for this game, where your head's at for this matchup that we'll have Saturday, 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern. Game of the week, Autzen Stadium. Okay, so let's get down in Outlier. We'll break this game down, and I'll share with you guys right now where the numbers are at. Minus 148 for Ohio State on the money line, and we are seeing threes pop up in the market. I am waiting to try to get a 2.5, so I will kind of give out my best bet a little earlier. I'm going to be riding the Buckeyes minus 2.5, and for me to take Ohio State means the money's green. I know a lot of people that do like Oregon in this spot, so I'm going to kind of go contrarian to some, but I do think the money, looking at it from a betting splits perspective, we can look at it right here on the right of your screen. It's a little bit blocked, but 99% of the money on the Buckeyes. Okay. Conversely, we are seeing a little bit of a betting shift where 25% of the bets. Now, this is early. We could see a little bit a late movement, but from all accounts, it's something where there's an overwhelming amount of support on the Buckeyes. It is a very publicly bet team. So Ohio State gets lumped in there with the Notre Dames of the world, the New York Yankees. They are in there with Texas. It's one of those teams that takes a lot of fan base money, so probably in the top 5. So Ohio State, that number, if it's kind of alarming, though, if we do see this Ohio State line shrink, in my opinion, as we get closer to kickoff, which I think it will, but I think the number's wrong, okay? So that's why I'm on Ohio State. If it does shrink, maybe it's something where we do get a little bit of West Coast love, and people favor the West Coast team out here in Vegas. They take Oregon. They got a little Pac-12, former Pac-12 kind of fandom. Who knows? I don't really care. I think the number's wrong. And this is a bet where it's going to be a fairly decent bet for me. And if I lose this bet, fine, albeit, and I might end up even just kind of laying it heavy on the Ohio State money line. Both of these teams coming into the season 5-0. I just think this is a bad spot for Oregon. I don't think, albeit, yeah, they probably will make the playoff, but in my personal opinion, in my humble opinion, when it comes to Oregon, I just don't think they're there. They don't have Bo Nix. They lost a lot from last year. Ohio State didn't, and we talk about kind of what happened historically in this Dan Lanning club going against Washington, okay? And we all saw what Washington was able to do to them, and that's something where just quite frankly they gave up a lot of yardage, and I think that Ohio State has a lot more explosiveness. They don't really have Michael Penix in terms of a quarterback, in terms of just slinging the ball, but it's a very different style of offense, but it's all the same in kind of an attacking perspective. I don't think Ohio State's going to keep let their foot up off the gas pedal. The only thing I worry about is this is kind of just get into the coaching battle. Is this a game where we do see kind of one of those spots here where Ryan Day just kind of plops? It's happened. We've seen it before. There's no real way to explain it. You could talk all you want, and the Lou stuff, and born on third base, kind of whatever you want to get into. It just really doesn't matter. I think this is going to come down to the players. And Ohio State returning 15 starters, it's just going to be something where I think they definitely have the edge. And quite frankly, I think in terms of class, we're going to talk about some of the numbers, but in terms of class, a commanding win against Iowa, all right, and then we can talk even more so about the common opponent in Michigan State. It's just Ohio State dominated that common opponent in a better way, and it's something where they were on the road. Oregon was at home, and I know that Oregon's maybe looking ahead. We do get that narrative where they might be holding back on the playbook. It's all that where this has been the game being circled for both teams. So that argument works both ways. You could talk about Marshall, Western Michigan, and Akron getting those tune-up games before Big Ten play. Yeah, Ohio State's ready. They're ready. They've had Michigan State come in, come across their face mask. They've had Iowa, by all accounts, winning 35-7 to Iowa. this is something where they're focused. And I just personally look at this game where Boise State was able to run the ball effectively, albeit Ashton Jeanty, Heisman candidate, Heisman hopeful here at TBM. But I do think that Ohio State's going to be able to run the football, and it's going to be something glaringly where you could even talk about some of the starts that they've had. You could talk about the Idaho game and how much credit are we going to give and leeway are we going to give the Ducks here in this spot because of that was a first week kind of little jitters, right? Not so fast for me. I think that Ohio State comes in this game. I think this is a statement game. I think that the number's dead-ass wrong. It just kind of bothers me why it's not moving. And for me, guys, we can look into some of the matchup numbers here, and you can see the team rankings. It's pretty much in terms of scoring, Ohio State's fourth. Efficiency is the one thing that I think Ohio State takes the cake with. Oregon kind of plays like a little, they got a little San Francisco 49ers action going on, a little Kansas City Chiefs action. Great team offensively. It's just once they get in that red zone, it gets a little murky as of recent, okay? Ohio State's been great on third down. We look at yards per play. Both of these clubs do have that explosiveness factor. But I really, truly lend towards the athleticism on the side of the Ohio State Buckeyes. And I think, quite frankly, as much as I'm not a Ryan Day fan, I do think I have to give him the edge in coaching. He's been in more big games. And Dan Lanning, from his time back in Georgia, that's all fine and dandy, but it's something where, and I do respect him a lot. That fire that he came out with the USC chatter last week or last year when he got his club fired up, I do like Oregon. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I personally, if it was just me and I wasn't a bettor, I would be rooting against Ohio State with all my heart and betting on Oregon. But I just think that the money's wrong. I think that Ohio State is the side to be on, and it pains me to say that as a Notre Dame fan, but that lives in the state of Ohio. But I'm on the Buckeyes here, so money's green. I plan on cashing this ticket, and that's kind of where I'm at. So there's something where there's a lot of people believe Ohio State's the best team in the country. I'm probably on that side of the argument as well. But for me and my money, we're going to be on the Buckeyes. It's just a great opportunity, I think, for all things considered. There are some betting kind of insights I want to break down for you guys if I can find them here. This is a game where we look at Ohio State against top 25 scoring defenses. Okay, so some nuggets here. They've won 5 out of their last 6 games against top 25 defenses. Against the spread in their last 5 games at home, they are also an Oregon team that has only covered 20% of the time. So Oregon's failing to cover the number. And if I did have to give you guys a perspective in terms of a sorry about that glare. In terms of a total, I would actually kind of lend towards the under. I think this is one where Ohio State just wants to get the win and get the hell out of Autzen. So for me, I think we see the running the ball becoming key. I think that Oregon can stop the run enough, and I do think that we do get kind of some higher powered, Dylan Gabriel, what he's able to do, tempo, if you will. But I just think that eventually this game slows down and becomes more of a chess match instead of checkers in the second half. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's going to be Buckeyes for me, and I lean towards the under. Here are my final plays. Appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe down below. Check us out on Discord and Twitter, totally free on those platforms. And if you want to give back to the channel and become a channel member here at TBM, subscribe down below here on YouTube, and that is down below in the description. So appreciate you guys. Good luck with your picks, and we'll see you guys all tomorrow for Sunday Night Football.